Well, g'day fishers, welcome back to our weekly fishing report. And those northerly winds, well, they're upsetting the apple cart offshore, that's for sure. Rolled that water over nicely on the inshore, and the current looks like it's pushing down pretty good on the shelf. So next week, a week of southerlies, I think midweek by the forecast, so that'll push that better water back in. But there have been some good fish offshore, and we'll get to that shortly. So inside the bay with all those northerly winds, yes, it warms the water up in the bay with the heat. And what's happening at the moment is there's plenty of, especially bream and whiting on the surface lures. So if you're keen on doing that at the moment, get up early, and we've got some good tides to get up early at the moment. Get out there amongst the shallows, around the flats, around the shallow rock walls, the oyster racks, and get some surface lures out there. The whiting are getting smashed on the surface lures at the moment, so too are the bream as well. So if you're keen on doing that, definitely worth a shot at the moment. If you're keen bait fisho, live yabby, some fresh mullet, some fresh prawns, float those down around the rock walls and you'll do pretty well on the bream. If you're into bait fishing for your whiting, live nippers and also live worms will be the go around the flats at the moment. Like I said, that water's definitely warmed up in the bay, unlike the offshore at the moment, especially the back half of the bay up towards Taylor's Beach, around Tanelba, back up towards Crew will be the go as well at the moment. Still some good flatties around. Spoke to Paul from Fishport Stevens Estuary Charters. He's been getting some really nice flatties still at the moment, putting his clients onto some ripper fish. So if you're still keen on the flatties, definitely worth a go. Neil, that actually does a bit of casual work for us. He got a really nice fish during the week, 80 centimetres. So he did pretty well to get that fish. So nice flatty for him as well. And I also believe you got a nice mulloway around the same sort of size on a plastic on the same day. So not a bad double header for one day. Dewy and a nice flatty to boot on the same day. So definitely worth a shot there. If you're shore-based at the moment, there's been some really nice fishing. You've just got to avoid that nor'easter, which is going to be a little bit consistent over the weekend till we get some southerly weather next week. But any of the beaches, as I say, from Shoal Bay to Corlette, Little Salamander Bay, and even the back of Soldiers Point, Sunset Beach are fishing really well on those incoming tides at the moment. So some good fishing in the bay all in all. No reports of any pelagics in the bay at the moment. There has been a few rat kings around the breakwell. No bonito at the moment. I think that water offshore is a little bit cool to push the bonito in, but it won't be far away before we see some pelagic action inside the bay at the moment. On the beaches, yes, the beaches have gone a little bit chilly, 19, 18 degree water from those northerlies, but the whiting is still biting. There you go, say that 10 times. And you'll find that the spit will fish really well out of that nor'easter. Will be on your back up that way at Fingal, so worth a shot up there. A few flatties up there as well. The first 10 k's of Barubia will fish pretty well. Just avoid all the full drives down there at the moment. Northern end of Samurai will fish well. You could probably tuck in out of the nor'easter a little bit around Middle Rock. Give that a go, but any beaches facing to the east-northeast with a bit of a write-off at the moment till we get that southerly change, so definitely worth a shot there. Off the rocks, a little few fish off the rocks. Core actually got some nice snapper off the rocks at the moment. That water, like I said, is backed off a little bit. There's a few tail around, a few bonito off 1 mile headland there, down towards Boat Harbour as well, but it can be a little bit of hard work off the rocks at the moment. A few ludric down off Cemetery Point there at Enna Bay. Spoke to Hazza, he got some nice ludric down that way as well. So if you're keen on doing that, the nor'easters are actually really good to fish down there. They'll be on your back, so you will get a few summertime ludric down that way as well. We'll move on to the offshore. Now, believe it or not, the reef systems have been fishing really well, especially that slightly deeper water. Spoke to Brad off Pacific Blue. He's been getting into some trags and really nice mulloway as well. Spoke to the boys on Nelson Bay Charters, same deal, plenty of trags, some nice snapper and some mulloway as well. So the mulloway being in that deeper water at the moment, 80 to 100 metres. Live baits, small slimy mackerel, small yakkers will be the go there at the moment. So, and like I said, that water has definitely rolled over from Seal Rocks all the way down. It is very, very chilly at the moment with those northerlies, but next week that southerly will go really well and it'll fish really well, that's for sure. So let's hope that that southerly pushes more water in. But the reef systems are fishing really well. Moving out to the shelf, well, the current's starting to rip down. I spoke to the boys on Calypso. They actually switched a couple of black marlin during the week. I spoke to Dan as well, went out in his trailer boat with his daughter and got a stripe and a black marlin, but that current's starting to push down a little bit. The bottom end of the car part looks okay with the current, but we'll find that with that southerly it should push in pretty well. I'm hoping that the inshore fires up after this southerly next week. There is current pushing down off Seal Rocks there, but it's cold. right in there. Let's hope that southerly pushes it right in there. We can get a crack at some black marlin action next week. Anyway, that's it for this week. Enjoy the weekend. Weather looks sensational. Make sure you put your sunscreen on.